Yay, there you go. I'm live. So, hey guys, today's my second session of live streaming once again. Instead of streaming from the United States right now, I am streaming from Europe. So if you guys follow me in the past, before in the United States, I was always dreaming to go to Europe and go to school to become, to get a master in fashion design. And now I am here in Europe, in Albania. However, I still want to go to school in Austria or Germany. We're not sure exactly. However, let's get back to today's topics. Today I'm going to do a little bit of patterning at the same time. I have a question. One of the fans have a comment that he wanted to see how to sew this lapel. By the way, I already create a video for it, but since today I'm live, why not? I will do it live as well, okay? So, no further ado, let's get started. So I'm here in CLO. I will go to File to get the pattern, okay? To go to File, and then I want to select Import here to get my pattern, and right here, DXF pattern there, and I'm going to click on Open. So this session here is a little bit advanced sewing for CLO. However, if you follow along, you will be fine. And by the way, I will have the video. This video, literally exact video posted when I'm finished. Right now, not yet finished. Almost though. I just shot it today and I'm going to finish it maybe in a couple of days. It's take me a little bit of time to edit together and so on. Alright, so this is the pattern. Oh, by the way, so I will also want to show you my Etsy store. So go to my Etsy. If you click on my YouTube channel, and if I go up here to my right, you will see my website as well as Etsy. So I will just click on that and you will see my store listed below. So you guys can come and shop, do whatever you want. Okay, let me just turn this back off here. Right there. So some of them are on sale right now. This is the textile I have. Like only $1 right now per fabric, guys. It's so cool. It's literally knit fabric and looks super realistic. This knit fabric you can apply onto your garment. Let me click one. It's just so tempted. My favorite one is pink here. I love this pink one. It's so cute. Look right there. And see, if you guys kind of follow me for a while, you will see my design. I like to mix different accents, different fabrics, like this one knit with chiffon onto the sleeve, and it give it a little bit more flavor to the garment itself rather than just all plain. Of course, sometimes you have to design certain design like suit. You don't want to throw a bunch of flavor into suit. Like the most thing you can do to suit is like add a bunch of buttons, a bunch of pockets, and a little bit of accent. And you can't do too many color and so forth, because that would look like, no, that's just not the way the suit work. You know what I mean? But when it's come to like something wear for summer or fall, this is fun. So that's one of it. And you can apply this fabric onto your garment. Super. Okay, so let me show you my pattern that I'm going to sew. Like get back to here. Let's scroll down. So I'm going to my jacket here, and this is right there. So Aruz, his name, if I say it correctly, sorry if I said incorrect, but here. So this is the lapels that I'm talking about. It's a little bit tricky, but if you do it a few times, it's become super easy. But when I first started, it's difficult. It's like it kept messing up over and over. So now I'm going to show you how to do that. It's pretty awesome. Let me come down here. Okay, so now this is the pattern. When I first bring the pattern in to clothes, this is what it looks like. By the way, guys, this pattern here, I will have like a 20% discount if you guys, email me, hey, I watched your video, I want to buy your pattern, can you, give some discount and so forth. Another thing here, if you join the member, like the lowest like $2.99 and then $4.99, then $24.99, then you will get discount on pattern. I have pattern for CLO3D, get discount almost every month. Okay, now get back to my pattern sewing here. I don't want to get lose track. By the way, guys, this is live streaming. When I'm doing my tutorial, if you guys check on my tutorial, I don't just go all the way like that. I try my best to focus on and save you guys time in my tutorial. That is my goal. I want to share what I know and save you time and headache, okay? Because I know how frustrated it is when you can't figure out something. It's just one of those things like, you wish you just know, or you wish you just know someone that can tell you what to do. You know what I mean? So that's what Encoder Fashion is. I'm here all about making pattern, and if you have any question about making pattern, just leave a comment below. Any video I will check, I promise, and I will respond. Maybe slow sometimes because I'm a little busy. Creating tutorial is like taking a lot of time, a lot of effort, and I mean, even though the topic I know, but I still need to gather idea and put together this idea and bring it out somewhere that I can speak or communicate with the idea with you, so you're able to follow along. All right, so first of all, when it comes to my tutorial, I have the main focus to the tutorial and only talk about the tutorial. But because it is live, I kind of like to allow myself to have a little fun, not just like just focus and zone into one thing. That's all. Okay, so if you guys have any question or comment, go ahead and leave it below, okay? Let me see if I can. All right, there you go. So now I'm going to, let me try. Just want to make sure if everything worked correctly. Okay, looks like it. All right, so get back to sewing the lapel, okay? So first, we have this pattern. And this pattern, when I imported in, it came with the pattern annotation, came with, sometimes it's duplicate for the internal lines, because when we import, CLO will generate the internal line for us, which is super useful, guys. Even though the pattern itself, that's what I keep sharing with you guys, how when you create pattern for the customer, be sure to organize them really well, clean them really well. When the customer download your pattern, you will have this clean look. So let me switch to just a 2D here for a second. So as you can see right here, this pattern is clean, okay? Because certain line there, internal line, for example, that I left them there, it's for your own guideline that you can use that as a guide. And by the way, guys, this pattern here, those guideline there, it's for you. Let's say if you are new to pattern maker, you can actually measure that guideline, measure that line, and figure out whatever that is. It's better than just plain blank, okay? So let's say, for example, my dots here. So the largest side of my dot here is right on top of the waistline for the front, and then for the back, right below. Roughly depends 3 or 4 centimeter right below the waistline. Because how a body works, we kind of hunch down just a little bit, and to get your garment fit really well to your body, you have to understand how a human body works. And roughly 3 or 4 centimeter, the dot largest part is a little bit bigger and lower, not bigger, sorry, a little bit lower compared to the front. And I know that because I've been working on women clothing for a long time. So I kind of see how the garment fit. By the way, guys, I used to be a seamstress, like a real life seamstress. Now I had to convert all those real life seamstress into CLO3D. So what that means is I still draft the pattern using the real life method, but do it in CLO. So much, like much easier, guys. Save me so much more time to do it in CLO. Alright, so get back to my pattern here. Let me reset the workspace to 3D and 2D. Okay, so if I look at the top, the jacket right here, I can call it jacket or dress, however, right there. So I'm going to come over here and show you one more time. If I look down here, click on that. Let me see. Okay, so down here, learn more about it. So, okay, so quick tip for fitting in CLO for the jacket, okay? I can use the avatar size, Missy Curvy 6 or Petite Curvy 6. It have to be Curvy 6, Missy or Petite. So it's up to you. You can fit with Petite or Missy. And I will show you how to do that. It's super easy because CLO has these avatar side came with it. We don't have to do much. We just click like a shoe button. All right, let me go do that. So right here, I'm going to load the avatar, okay? Go to the library there and then double click on the avatar, then click on this female one. And I like to use Camilla. You can select any avatar you want. So Camilla. And then I'm going to come over here to the side and click on that side there. And I'm going to select Missy Curvy. Okay, let's expand this a little bit. So Missy Curvy, double click on that. And I'm going to double click on Missy Curvy 6. And you will see the magic happen in a second. Yeah, perfect. The avatar just shift right there. Get a little bit bigger. Okay, so next, this is awesome. There are many ways to sew this, okay? However, I will show you a quick and easy way to sew this, all right? So first, I'm going to delete this half. So by the way, guys, this pattern, leave it half like this for a reason. Because when you bring into CLO, you can modify, do however you like. It's easy and or maybe complicated if you are new to pattern maker. I promise I will create many beginner pattern maker courses and upload it to, I have the member join thing like $2.99, $4.99. You get to watch all the courses. When you sign up even $2.99, I mean, you can watch YouTube without ads, without, you know, any, I think without ads when you signed up for $2.99. And for $4.99, you watch without ad, you got some pattern discount as well as you will get courses. However though, I'm not yet upload courses, but I'm working on it, working really hard to create many courses and upload into the $4.99 memberships, okay? So if you look at my display right now, I have the link below that you can go and check and find out. Okay, so now get back here. I'm going to delete half of this right there. Delete that. Okay, we only need to do half of the work. That's why. And then I will also delete the facing as well. Okay, and after that, I'm going to begin sewing. So when it's come to sewing, I will use two tools here. Segment sewing tool up here, right there, and free sewing tool. By the way, guys, forgive me, my English is really bad. I will try my best to speak correct English, but sometimes I have this habit of just saying a bunch of words like baby saying, because my English is not my first language, and I will try to speak correctly. Okay, alright, so back to free sewing. I can use free sewing as well as segment sewing. So free sewing is super cool when we sew a sleeve like this. So let me try that. Click one to start, hover the mouse to the right, click once again to end, and this is one. Press on shift, then click here, click here, click here, and now I'm going to release the shift key. And now that is on. I can also sew side here. So I'm gonna sew until this notch because I want to split side there. That's what the jacket is. And okay, so now I'm going to use segment sewing tool to sew the dots as well as to sew the shoulder seam right here. So segment sewing tool is super cool to use when you only have to sew like one segment to one segment. For example, if I zoom in here, click here, click here, click here, and the notches have to stay parallel or they get tangled. Like that, like that. Same right here. And now sew right here as well. Use segment sewing tool. And also right here. So the sleeve, we only have one segment. We just use segment sewing tool. It's pretty cool. Now we almost finished this half. All we need to do here, we're gonna place this pattern onto the avatar, right? So I'm going to come over here and use this, or click on this vertical toggle menu and this avatar right there and click on this, or you can use right there shift letter F to show or hide arrangement point here. All right, so I'm going to switch my tool to transform pattern tool here. Okay, first we know this is front left, sleeve left, and back left. So here, the side here is the left side of the avatar. I'm going to click one on the front jacket, then hover the mouse over here. I'm going to click one right there. And then I'm going to press on number 6. And then I'm going to click on, I'm going to marquee select both sleeve and sleeve cuff. Then I'm going to simply click one right there. Now I'm going to press on number 8 for the back view. Next, I'm going to click one there and then hover the mouse over there. Click one to place. Looks pretty good. Let me rotate it. I'm going to bring it out a little bit. And do the same here. Bring it out. So a goal here, we want the pattern lay above the avatar. So this one right here, click and then bring it out just a little bit. Okay, so we want that to be on top. Okay, all right, let me hide this by pressing on shift and letter F to hide it, and let me bring this out a little bit. Okay, and another thing too, right here, we do not want the fabric to tangle each other. Lay over each other, it's okay, but tangle each other, it's not okay. It will, see right here, this one dig in like that, that's not okay. But lay over one of the fabric, that's okay. All right, so let me press on number 2 to see the front view. Okay, so we're almost done. Now I'm going to make a copy here. So my key selects all the pattern pieces, just like that, and then right click, and I'm going to select symmetric pattern with sewing. Okay, and hover the mouse to the right. I'm going to press on shift here, and then click 1 to place the pattern. All right, there you go. And as you can see right here, I not only place the pattern already sewn, but also place the pattern onto the avatar. How cool is that? So next I'm going to sew the side. Of course, the side seam already sewn. I will sew the back seam here and the front seam. So by the way, guys, this jacket has a front zipper, okay, and open zipper. We will also apply the zipper onto the jacket as well. Let me check. Oh, another thing I just want to let you guys know, I'm streaming for now every Monday from 4 to 5. So you can find my schedule below, and there you go. This is all about CLO3D, or CLO3D, but focus on pattern making, especially women clothing. I don't do men. My sister, she did men clothing, but I'm not good at men clothing, and I can hem men's pants. I can maybe alter men pants, but for making men clothing, no. I only do women. I just like understand women clothing, but not men. So okay, now let's get back to the project here. All right, so now I'm going to sew this back seam. I'm going to use the segment sewing tool. Click on it and then sew that. Now I'm going to use edit sewing tool. Click on this edit sewing tool, then click on that end right there. You click one first and then click one more to drag. Do the same here. So we want to click one and then click second time. See what happened when I misclick that first one. I could not move the point. I happened to move the entire line, and I don't want that. So click one and then click second time on that point, and let's adjust it back a little bit there. Now I'm going to kind of sew the front as well. So click one and go to segment sewing tool and then click one to start. Click once again, or I can sew with the segment sewing tool again. Click on it and then sew. Click on it. Now front and back seam is sew. Okay, so after that I'm going to switch my tool to transform pattern tool, and I'm going to my key select all the pattern pieces. I want to strengthen them. So always a great idea to strengthen the pattern first before you simulate, because the collision could go crazy, and when we strengthen the pattern first, it helps every time. Okay, now let me come over here and check if I miss any sewing. Looks like we doing pretty good job with sewing. Next I'm going to click on that simulation icon to simulate. Well, that is pretty awesome. I'm going to press on number 2 here to see the front, and now this is important. So in fact, let me see his comment. I actually have a, by the way guys, I'm really bad at name and I have trouble pronouncing names. I know I have his name. So Nazul, that is his name, and he said, can you please provide how to make a neck band or collar sewing? So yeah, so this is important. This is for you, Nazul, if I say it correctly. So this is going to be the focus point here, sewing the lapel or the neck band here. Alright, so I'm going to begin sewing this top here, okay? So let's press on the spacebar here. So we want to sew right there in the back side. I will use segment sewing tool. By the way guys, segment sewing tool is work for both 2D and 3D. So I'm going to click one to start and then click once again to sew that together. Now I'm going to press on the spacebar once again. There you go. And press it once again to stop. Now we're going to sew. Let me zoom in a little bit and put it down. So now we are going to sew right here. See right there? You want to sew the lapel to the neckline right there. And I'm going to click once to start and then click once again to sew that too. And since the pattern is symmetric pattern with sewing, we only need to sew one side. Now both sides are sewn. Next, I'm going to zoom out and then press on the spacebar to simulate. Alright, now press it on once again to stop. Alright, let me click on the transform pattern tool here. So if you guys look at closely, like I mentioned earlier, the front dot have these, like these, what do you call it? The center dot is up here roughly like 3 or 4 centimeters higher compared to the back. And if you look at closely here, how the back curve here roughly lower, like 3 or 4 centimeters lower compared to the front. That's what makes this dress fit really well. Okay, and next, this is the fun thing. We are going to create facing and sew that onto this lapel. Okay, alright, before we create facing, we are going to fold this lapel first. To do that, I will come over here to the vertical toggle menu and then click on this icon here, and we want to click on show internal line, show or hide, because it does both. And right here, this is the folding line that we want. If I look over here on this pattern, I have this line here where the lapel sew to, and this line here where the lapel fold, and we want to click on that folding line. Okay, so I will come over here and click on this folding tool and then simply click on that folding line and then click the arrow and drag it down. Okay, let's see, it looks like it's opposite direction. We want it folding out like this. Okay, now I'm going to press on the spacebar to simulate. Just like that. I'm going to click it one more time to stop the simulation and click on the transform tool to get out of that folding tool. Okay, there you go. That looks pretty good. Let me press on number 2 here. So now we sewn the dress as well as folding the lapel. Okay, now we are going to create the facing. To create the facing, I'm going to kind of come here a little bit and turn it down. I'm going to make a copy here. Click on the front one and press on shift, click on the second front pattern, right click, and we want to select layer clone under. Then I'm going to click one over here to place the pattern. So after that, I'm going to show you guys some cool tip. So I have to admit, learning clothes wasn't easy at first. It's quite hard because I mean, it's more like confusing at first, not hard. It's more like confusing because it can like do so many things. And for me, I had to learn what works for me. Pattern maker, learn that from, you know, animating the avatar so I can see how the garment flow. Do the fitting so I can see how the garment fit. And I had to leave any other stuff behind, and then I learn all those stuff little by later. But first, learning code, you have to focus on what you want to do for your work, okay? And learn on that precisely. So then after you're done learning that, you can, you know, spread out to do whatever more fun. But right now, the fun part is like if I can sew that lapel onto or fold the lapel perfectly. All right, so let's get back to my lapel process here. I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to use the transform pattern tool and cut on this. Click right there, and as you can see right here, we have two internal lines right there because CLO create a copy for us, and we want to delete one of them. So click on that, whichever, doesn't matter. And I'm going to press on the delete or backspace here to delete. And then I'm going to click once again. Now, right click, and we want to select cut. After that, I'm going to delete this pattern here. The same right here. I'm going to come over here, that transform pattern tool, click on it. And as you can see right here, I make a mistake. I click on the wrong one. Right click. So let me zoom in a little bit. We want to click on this line right here, okay? Okay, thank you, William. Appreciate that. Okay, so now I'm going to click on this line right here. Right click and then select cut. Next, I'm going to click on this pattern and then press on the delete or backspace on the keyboard to delete. Now I'm going to move that facing down. And zoom in a little bit. All right. Next, I'm going to zoom in a little further, and I'm going to pan to the right a little. I will use this edit sewing tool here, and if I click on that sewing, as you can see right there, CLO sewn that part for us. We don't have to worry about it. All we need to do here, we sew right here and right here. That's it. So, all right, I'm going to select segment sewing tool here and click one right there to start, and then zoom down here. I'm going to click right there to sew that too. After that, I will come out here, just zoom in a little. I'm going to use this edit sewing tool here. Click on that point, that sewing point right there. Click and then drag. So I'm going to click and then drag. Okay, so somehow it doesn't want to work. Alright, so instead of click and then drag, I'm going to click on that segment sewing tool and then click on there to sew that part to this. Okay, and I'm going to do the same right here. Simply click one to start and then click once again. The same with here and here. Okay, so now both facing sewn to the lapel. After that, I'm going to come over here to this transform pattern tool, click on that. I'm going to strengthen the entire thing. Let's just strengthen just lapel, because the other piece already strengthened. Now I'm going to press on the spacebar to simulate. All right, now, okay, now we have a problem here. So the lapel, instead of outside out, is inside out. We want to flip that, okay? But first of all, let me kind of my key selects all these, and I want to unstrengthen to see the garment. Let me press on number 2 here and pan it down just like that. Number 2. All right, so we want to flip that. However though, I'm going to apply the fabric first. So come over here to this fabric, and then I'm gonna come over here to the search box, and I want to type in knit, press on return or enter, and I'm going to select fleece here, drag drop onto this fabric 1, and now the fabric has changed. I'm going to change the color to any color you want, really, but I like to change it maybe to creamy kind of color. Simply, yeah, then click on apply and close here. There you go. And right there, it actually looked pretty good, guys. Right. Okay, so next I want to apply the zipper onto the jacket. Let's press number 2 here. Let's see how far we can get, or we can actually go with this jacket. Okay, so after that I'm going to remove this front sewing here to apply the zipper. Before I'm gonna do that though, I want to strengthen the garment first. So strengthen the garment, and then another thing that I want to do here, I'm going to come over here to this history panel, click on that, and I want to snapshot of that right there that I just finished, and click on this kind of t-shirt icon, click on that. This history tool is really awesome, guys. I'm going to either name it or leave it as is, because you will see in a minute. If somehow I mess this up, I don't have to start from the beginning, guys. I can go in there to the history channel, to the history panel, and then load that back to that state. And it's only do it if you save it. If you don't save it, it won't give you the option that you want, okay? And you can save as many you want right here. Let me close that history panel for a little bit. All right, so now, okay, let's save that garment as well. Go to file, always save it, guys. Click on save as and select projects. I'm going to name that Missy jacket with front zipper and lapel, and I'm going to save in that with that projects. Okay, now I'm going to click on save. So as always, save your work along the way. Don't wait until you finish, because sometimes when your computer crash, yeah, it has this auto saving, but it still doesn't give you the full work that you have done. Only save some of it, but not the complete project that you work on. So I would recommend like work on it and then constantly saving it with just Command or Control S constantly, because that's how you know for sure that you always have your file that you work on. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to strengthen. I already strengthened. I will remove this sewing, so I will sew the zipper. So click on this edit sewing tool, and click on that sewing, press on the delete or backspace on your keyboard. Do the same right here. And then I'm going to press on the spacebar to simulate halfway, just like that. Alright, so next I'm going to sew the zipper. To sew the zipper, so I'm going to zoom in on this side here, because this is the front right and I want to see the front right of the top. By the way guys, this is say frontless, but because I made a copy, I have to go in and change all this annotation. I think that's a disadvantage of delete and remake copy. However though, changing the annotation, the name of the pattern is much faster compared to if you sew both sides of the pattern. Okay, alright, so now I'm gonna kind of get back and see this right side of the pattern, and I'm going to come over here to the zipper tool, click on that and zoom in a little bit. I will click the one right there, see this line right there, click roughly on that line, hover the mouse down here, and you will see this blue point on or in the 2D window as well as 3D window. However, you can see this notch right there, that's a zipper notch. Place the point on top of the zipper notch, double click to place the zipper. And I will do the same right here, opposite. So simply click one to place. When we want to finish, we have to click twice. After that, I'm going to press on the spacebar here to simulate. And there you go. Next, just press it once again to stop. Now I'm going to switch my tool to the select/move tool and zoom in, pan it down a little. Okay, there are a couple of things we want to do. We want to change the zipper pull as well as the color of the zipper. To do that, I will click on that zipper puller there, then come over here to the property editor, and I'm going to the slider. I can change that slider too, why not? And then go back, change this puller. I want this puller right here, that's the one I use it for the garment. I think so. Let me see to make sure. Yeah, right there. I use that one right there. Okay, so now I'm going to check that, and okay, this is awesome. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and I'm going to select this zipper here. So CLO now allows us to change the zipper teeth and the zipper tape separately, which more so it's good that you have more options, but you have to be careful to click the teeth or tape. If you want to change the tape, be sure you're on the tape, and I want to change just the tape here. Click on that tape and then scroll down. I want to click on that color there, and then click on this eyedropper. First, let's move this window over here a little bit. Click on the eyedropper and come over here, click on this fabric color there. You want to pick that color up. After that, I'm going to click on apply and haha, family. Awful, but it's happened. What can you do? Okay, let's get back. So I'm going to press on this escape key here to get out the eyedropper tool first, okay? After that, I will come over here, click on apply and close. And as you can see right there, I just changed the tape color and not the teeth. So that is perfect. There you go. Now let me unstrengthen. I want to see the color of the zipper, and see right there we can even change that to a different color if we want to. However, though, I like kind of white color there. And see, look down here, this is open zipper, which is perfect, and it looks amazing. So let me hide these internal lines here. It's look a little bit distracting, just like that. Okay, now we have to fix this lapel color problem. It's easy, guys. However, though, it can be disaster. I'm not really scaring you. So we have the awesome tool here. We call the history panel. I'm going to snapshot that state as well. So this state here, I have zipper. So let me name it. Right click and then rename it. I want to put that zipper, and this is like, I'll leave that because most likely we're not going to use it. But if this one messed up, instead of start from beginning, I can just click on that right there. Okay, let's just close this back. So by the way, guys, I can't say enough. The history panel is super useful. And not only that, I can display multiple garments onto the floor. Use that history panel, okay? All right, so now look at the garment. It looked pretty awesome and it's fit her pretty well, guys. So I can see right there. And by the way, guys, this pattern I drafted in a traditional way. This is like super awesome for you guys to watch the video and practice. If you guys new to clothes and new to this kind of a little bit of complicated sewing, I would recommend, practice it over and over. Do it several times. Even for me, I do this, work on this pattern quite a while, and today I like re-sew it 2, 3, 4 times. And if that what it takes to sew it perfectly, why not do it? Because the more you do, the better you get. And I have to admit, guys, pattern making for women clothing is so much easier than you literally, let's say you try to build a car or making men clothes, I think, because I'm not good making men clothes. All right. So I'm going to kind of rotate it, zoom it in, and first thing, my keys select all these, and then select strengthen. And after that, I'm going to click both of these facing, okay? Then you have to come over here to this 3D window and then right click on top of that. And I'm going to select flip normal. And there it is. One click, guys, and it fixed. You have to do it after everything though, okay? And okay, another tip here, guys. If you did something and it didn't really come out well like this, it doesn't mean you did something wrong. It means like you did the other step before. Then from, let's say, step 1, step 2, step 3, instead of you do step 1, step 2, step 3, you do step 4 instead of 3. So when you are doing something like this, for example, layer clone under or fold the lapel, make sure you create the fold first, then you create the layer clone under, and then you do it like one by one, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can't do it backward or it won't work well, okay? However though, that is just my experience. with doing this, or my experiment doing with this. If you guys found a better way of doing this, man, share. Leave the comment below. I would love to hear, because it's not one way it works. So if you find a better way or a cool way to do this, leave a comment below. I love to hear, because I love learning new tip and trick about clothes. It's pretty awesome. Alright, so let's simulate one more time here. And then, perfect. I'm going to press on the spacebar to stop. Next, I'm going to my key selects and then click on Unstrengthen. Nice. Alright, let me zoom in. And I'm going to change the particle distance here. So, change it to 10. First of all, guys, if you thinking about doing animation in here, you must have the particle distance low to 10 or under. If more than 10, the particle distance or the fabric will have this terrible collision, which is not cool. If you find, let's say, terrible collision for your garment, when you do the animation, be sure to check the particle distance, okay? Alright, so let me key select that once again. Right click, strengthen, and I'm going to press on the spacebar once again to simulate, okay? So press it once again to stop, and look at that, it looks pretty awesome. Let me press on number 2, and I'm going to my key select and strengthen. There you go. Okay, right now the garment look kind of flat, right? That because we need to turn on this quality render. Click on that icon right there, and right now look at the garment, have more the depth and shape. So that pretty much it. However though, you can find this, you can actually finish with a final look by applying the top stitches onto the garment, as well as create hem, or you can simply kind of apply top stitches onto that. Let me see, and right there. Okay, let me change this. Pattern name. So instead of back left, I'm going to select here back right. So click on annotation tool here. I like to simply click on that and then delete it, and then click on this annotate. Excuse me, I have trouble saying that word. Annotation tool, and then click once again, and this time will be back, then right. Another important thing here when it's come to making pattern, so this pattern we don't have a lot of pieces. Some pattern have so many pieces, like 20 pieces, and you have to name them really well or it will drive you crazy. Alright, so now I'm going to delete this and then change the name. So I'm going to delete it. No. And it's sleeve right. No. Front right. So simply just that. Now you have your pattern name and you know when you want to get to. Okay, now also you want to name the lapel too. However, because the facing, however, we only have two facing and the facing are pretty much the same. You can use from left to right, right to left, but it's good habit to name it. So I can name this lapel right, or I can just name it right. I don't even have to put lapel, just like that. And then you just name it left. Pretty much it. And just like that. Now we're almost finished. So I can't believe we are almost time, guys. It's almost 5. So let me my key selects all of these and then right click, strengthen, and simulate one more time here. Perfect. Excellent, guys. Let me press on number 2. So I think I probably should wrap it up, guys, because we are almost finished. And let's unstrengthen that. So what I'm saying here, you can go in. Let's say if you want to have this garment turn into a PDF sewing, you want to have a complete look. So let's say if you have stitches right here, because to a complete look for the garment, we want to have either single or double stitches on the hem, as well as right here the zipper. We sew these onto the garment, either single or double stitches along this line. And let me zoom in. And right here we will apply either, once again, single or double stitches, as well as the sleeve here. Okay, so that is it, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this session, and if you have any question, be sure to leave a comment below the video. I love to hear. And by the way, I will have this video, not this video, but a tutorial like this, but shorter period, maybe 9 minutes long, something like that, and listed or in the channel itself. So there you go, guys. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and if you happen to stop by, be sure to leave a comment or follow me on Encoder Fashion for more awesome video like this. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.